Liz Young from The Modern Table, and I'm going to be making some cheesy celeriac and apple fritters with loads of fresh herbs. So I'm going to run through the ingredients that we've got. Grated celeriac, we've got grated apple, we've got some fresh tarragon, which we'll come back and speak about in a minute. We've got our egg yolks and Dijon mustard already mixed together, some grated parmesan. Over here we've got a little bit of chopped chilli, our pumpkin seeds, and we'll throw some salt and pepper in too. So we need to chop our tarragon. Now sometimes I think that people buy tarragon for recipes and they use half a packet and then it sort of just wilts away in the bottom of their fridge. I just want to say that tarragon is quite underrated along with celeriac. That's why we're doing it, and it's great because it's very seasonal at the moment. Tarragon you can throw in with your roast chicken, maybe chop it up and add it to your scrambled eggs on the weekend if you want to impress somebody. We can also make a nice vinaigrette if you'd like, with some mustard, some vinegar, maybe a splash of lemon juice if you like it quite acidic, some salt and pepper, and also maybe a pinch of sugar if it's a little bit too sharp. So we'll take the tarragon off the stems. Now I think we need a couple of tablespoons. We also have in the recipe some sage, which we have over here, which is lovely purple sage. So I think we need about 8 leaves or so. Sage is very aromatic even before you start to rub it, but with harder herbs, so sage or rosemary and thyme, I always like to just rub it between my fingers because it really releases the aromatics, so you get more flavour from it. Sage is again lovely with roast chicken, to fry it in some oil and add it onto the top of food. Another favourite of mine is if you have some olives, you can whiz them up and make into tapenade with some oil, and in between 2 sage leaves you pop the tapenade and then you make a little batter, or even just a bit of flour and egg, and then pop it in a nice hot pan of oil and you fry them in the very Moorish. So we've got our celeriac going in, we've got our apple, we've got our chopped tarragon and sage, we've got our egg yolks and Dijon mustard. We can get that out. We've got our parmesan. We've got some pumpkin seeds for texture, chilli, pinch of salt, maybe quite a hearty pinch of salt, some black pepper, and now that all our ingredients are in the bowl, we're going to give it a good mix. I've got some egg whites which we've whisked. We're just going to fold them through. So we'll just put a little bit in to start with to get it moving, and then we'll add the rest. Now this will just help to keep the fritters light and fluffy. Try not to break the egg whites down too much because it will defeat the purpose of having them. I think we've got that all mixed, ready to go in the pan. So every week or every few weeks, if you're more like me, I go through my fridge and I take out all my soft herbs, and sometimes I can even use rosemary in there, but let's talk about soft herbs. I throw them all into a blender, or even a stick blender will do the trick. And then I just put in some oil, probably olive oil or extra virgin olive oil, some salt and pepper, and that's when you can start getting creative. Sometimes I add mustard, sometimes I add capers or both, some onion, possibly some cheese or some nuts. You know, it's endless what you can do. and it's a good way of using them up without letting them just rot away. And then you can throw them on meat, on pasta, anything, or just smear it on a nice piece of sourdough with some cheese is really tasty. So we'll just chop up our parsley that we need for the fritters to go in our yogurt. Okay, so we've got our Greek yogurt here, which is going to go with our fritters to dip them in. So we put the parsley in, throw a good pinch of salt in, some pepper, and you can also later on throw in a little bit of olive oil. Give it a good mix, and then just check your seasoning. So now we've got our fritters ready to go into the pan. So we've got a really nice hot pan with some oil in it, and we're just going to try and put a couple of, if you just press them down a little bit, or try and hold the fritters together. So what we're aiming for is to be able to caramelize them on one side for a few minutes and then flip them over and do the same again on the other side. Then we pop them in the oven to finish them off and make sure that the celeriac's all cooked through. And here we've got our celeriac fritters, which I've just taken out of the oven. They've been in there for about 10 minutes, which we took them from the pan to the oven tray and popped them in. We've also got our yogurt with the parsley and olive oil, which is really nice to serve with it, and you can also serve it with a nice crisp green salad. Thank you very much for watching. If you need any more recipe ideas, just head to the website.